Class, we're doing something a little differently today. Some people are at different places in the lesson or in class right now, so we're making a video so that some of you can kind of watch this and kind of almost like learn on your own this material, okay? So the idea here, variables in algebra, we want to be able to evaluate a variable expression for a given value of a variable. All right, so four big definitions that we have here. Recently, we haven't talked very much about evaluate, but that one's down here, so we're going to get there. We have talked about variable expression. We know that that's an expression that has numbers and operations and variables. We also probably remember value, right? It's just the number or the value that a variable stands for. And lastly, a variable, and that's our letters or our values that can change, okay? So, things that we need to learn or kind of remember, vocabulary-wise at least, is the word substitute. If you guys remember correctly, to substitute really means to replace. Okay? To replace. And I really just want you to remember this. To replace. To replace. If I miss a day of school, I need to get a substitute teacher so that there's another teacher there to replace me for the day. Okay? Now, evaluate. We talked a little bit about this, but it's been a little bit. So, to evaluate, we're trying to find the value of something, usually of an expression. All right, so we're going to try to find the value of expressions. And another thing that you might hear sometimes is simplify. All right, that's another word that you might hear instead of evaluate. Sometimes we'll ask you to simplify. Now there are some nice steps for evaluating that will work just about every time. All right. So to evaluate a variable expression, the first thing we have to do is we need to substitute a number for each variable. All right, so what I'm going to do, I'm going to come up with a little example here over on the side. I'm going to say that we have the expression x plus 7 when x equals 3. All right, so here I have a variable expression, and here I have a value. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to substitute the number for each variable. So do you see how x is 3 here? Well, that means I'm going to kind of plug it in or substitute or replace it. All right? So anywhere where I see an x, I'm going to replace it with a 3. So I would write 3 plus 7. And that would be my first step. I have substituted a number for a variable. Now the next thing I need to do, and actually let me put a little number 1 there so you guys know that we've completed step 1. Number 2, we're going to evaluate. All right? We're going to evaluate, or some people might use the word simplify, your choice. But we're going to kind of go through and we're going to find the value. All right? So if we see 3 plus 7, well, I know 3 plus 7 even without a calculator, that's 10. And so now I have completed step 2. What do we notice? Are we done? Have we simplified as much as possible? Can we go any further? That's it. We are done. We have found the value of the expression. All right? Value of expression. Sorry for my leftiness. You guys take a look at that for a second. Pause if you have to, if you need to read anything. All right, so now what we're going to do, we're going to go through a few examples together, and then you guys can practice some on your own in a little bit. All right? Okay, so the first practice problem, 10 over y when y is equal to negative 2. First thing we need to do, we need to recognize what operation's going on here. 10 over, or 10, this is what we call a fraction bar or a division bar, so our operation is division, which is very helpful. And guys, for the steps, we're kind of just using the same thing that we already talked about. My step one is I am going to substitute. I'm going to substitute a -2 wherever I see a y variable. All right, so I wrote my step. Now I have to complete that step. So 10 over -2. Okay, easy enough? I hope so. Next thing, what do I have to do? Oh, I just have to simplify or evaluate the expression, right? So I'm going to just say simplify by dividing 10 by -2. All right, that's exactly what I'm going to do. I'm going to simplify by dividing 10 by -2. So when I do that, I end up getting -5, and so I now know that my the value of my expression is -5. Okay? Okay. Let's do one more with steps, and then I will let you guys go. I know this video is getting a little long. Okay, so we have one more up here. A plus 9 when A is equal to 6. Ooh, I see a plus sign. That means my operation is going to be addition. And okay, I see that I want to evaluate where A is equal to 6. So that means that I need to substitute 6 wherever I see an A variable. Alright, that's kind of goofy. Maybe I'll put that in quotations. Just, it's an A variable. I'm looking for anywhere where I see an A variable, and I am going to replace it or substitute it. So 6 plus 9. Everyone see that? I see that this 6 can go right there in the spot of A. Okay, step 1 done. Step 2, I'm going to simplify or evaluate by adding 6 and 9. So 6 plus 9, 15. Oh my gosh, we are done. All right. Now, you're not going to have to write these out every single time. It's good practice, but hopefully you just after doing a couple of these with me, you have a good idea of the steps that are required to evaluate these variable expressions. Okay. So let's finish up. Let's do these last two, and then you can finish the extra practices on your own. And let's see here. Okay, so I see -4x is my variable expression. I know that I want to evaluate it when x is 3. So that means that I'm going to replace any x's with a 3. So -4. Remember, what's going on between -4 and x? Well, there's multiplication, so there's still going to be multiplication. It's just now I'm not multiplying x, I'm multiplying by 3. And so -4 times 3 is -12. Done and done. On to the next one. And here we go, last one. Y minus 4 when y is equal to 1. Well, if y is my variable and I know I want it to equal 1, or the value of y is 1, I need to replace y with 1. So 1 minus 4, 1 minus 4, oh, -3. Okay? So, hopefully, and I want you all to do this right now. I want you to flip back. I want you to take a look up at our learning target, and I want you to just kind of think about how you feel about this, okay? Can you evaluate a variable expression for a given value of the variable? I'm hoping everyone's kind of feeling like a 3. But if you're at a 2, that's fine. Keep working. And if you're at a 1, please, please, please make sure to check in with one of us so that we can help you out. All right? Have a great day, and see you next time.